Arthur just died in a brutal way. His wife Alice took all the money from their home. She found a top doctor to restore her body to a state with no past experience, then pushed through intense pain to make herself look younger. A year later she was fully transformed into an 18-year-old girl. Alice did all of this to avenge Arthur. She decided to bring her daughter to the general's mansion for something shocking. Arthur used to be a well-known chef famous for his lamb soup. One day Wendy from the general's mansion suddenly called him over. She wanted his lamb soup. Before leaving, Arthur smiled, saying this job would buy Alice a gold bracelet. What came back was only bad news. Wendy held more favor than the general's wife. She even saw herself as the real wife. Arthur made one small mistake, calling her the wrong title. That mistake cost him everything. He was barely alive when they finally brought him home. With his last breath he begged Alice not to seek revenge. Alice said yes on the surface. Inside she was already planning revenge. The general's power was too strong. Her only chance was to use Arthur's lamb soup and step into the game herself. So she restored her body and appearance, then set up a lamb soup stall right outside the mansion, waiting quietly for the moment. Soon General Mark returned from the battlefield. The moment he got home, he saw Wendy punishing his wife Emma. It instantly irritated him. Mark had spoiled Wendy too much over the years. She kept pushing things further and further, yet something forced him to keep tolerating her. His head was pounding. He stepped outside. Then a rich smell hit his nose. He followed the scent straight to Alice's soup stall and ordered a bowl. Her hard-working presence sparked something in him. It reminded him of Wendy back in the early days. The reason he spoiled Wendy so much was because she once saved his life overseas. Back then he pretended to be a support soldier. Wendy, who owned a small and never looked down on him. She even cared for him for a whole month. Thinking back, Mark felt she had changed. Just then Alice brought over 2 bowls of soup. Mark said he wanted something with alcohol. Alice told him they did not have any. As she turned to leave, a group of thugs started harassing her. In a split second Mark stepped in. He caught her just before she fell. Her face slipped into view and hit him deep. Then Mark played the same trick as before, claiming he was a soldier. That was enough to scare the 2 thugs away. Before leaving he left some money behind. Just as he turned to go, Alice suddenly called him back. She asked him to come again tomorrow, promising she would prepare alcohol to thank him. Mark did not hesitate. He agreed right away, unaware everything was already part of her plan. Even the 2 thugs were actors she hired in advance. Meanwhile, after Mark returned home in a good mood with that strong lamb soup scent on him, he saw Wendy's maid getting harshly punished again. Anger started building up inside him. He told Wendy to stop treating the servants like that. Wendy got upset, saying he was blaming her for another woman. Mark saw she would not listen anymore. He told her to rest early. Mark walked out of her room holding back his anger again, then stayed at the army camp for a few days to ease his restless mood. His men joked that since that day, the woman he saved, Alice, had been waiting at her stall every day with alcohol for him. Mark did not expect his offhand words to be taken so seriously. It amused him, so he went back to see Alice, and found she had really stayed there until late night waiting for him. Alice happily served him a bowl of soup, then brought out the alcohol she had prepared. The smell of the soup lifted his mood instantly. He explained he had been busy and could not come these days. He also said he was just a logistics soldier carrying supplies. Alice responded with admiration, saying every soldier deserves respect. She told him not to doubt himself. At that moment Mark respected her even more. Her place in his heart kept growing. That night he even walked her home himself. The 2 shared a warm moment like a real family. From then on Mark came to see Alice every night, and Alice always waited for him with alcohol ready. Over time Mark even started coming during the day. People joked that her soup tasted different just for him. It even made him smile without realizing. Then a guest asked Mark if he had someone special. Mark looked straight at Alice and said he already had someone in his heart. Until one day things took a turn. Alice turned a sheep's stomach into a hand warmer. She told her daughter things were about to get very hard. Her daughter immediately understood what she planned to do. So when Mark came again, Alice gave him the hand warmer, then shyly asked who he cared about. Mark asked if he could see her face. Alice said she wanted to dress up first and show him tomorrow. Mark left in a happy mood. When he got home, Wendy noticed the hand warmer. She snapped and asked which woman gave it to him. Mark looked at her and the warmth was gone from his eyes. Then he walked out in anger. Wendy was not satisfied. She sent people to investigate. She learned Mark had been meeting Alice at the soup stall every day for a month. The next day Wendy brought soldiers and destroyed Alice's stall in rage, then kicked Alice to the ground. She ordered her men to rip off Alice's hood. Meanwhile, as Mark was heading to meet her, he heard Alice was being bullied. He snapped and rode over immediately, just in time to see her hood being torn off. The next second he saw her flawless face, and in that moment he fell hard for her, without realizing he had already walked straight into Alice's trap.